of Pharmacy, Suresh Kanvihar University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Today's our next lecture of pharmacology. Today's our lecture topic is anti-tubercular drug. So, learning objective of today's lecture is definition. We will cover the basic definition about tuberculosis. Then we will go after the cause behind tuberculosis. Then the drug classification of tuberculosis. So that is anti-tubercular drug. Then the drug to be avoided while we are using anti-tubercular drug. And then the conclusion. So, the learning outcome of today's lecture is you are able to identify the type, symptoms, the drug that are used in tuberculosis, and also you are able to know about the application, side effect, toxicities of the drug that are used in tuberculosis. Then the various treatment principle for tuberculosis. Now, coming to the introductory part, so tuberculosis is the most important communicable disease in the world, and mycobacteria are intractly resistant to most antibiotics. So, they grow more slowly than other bacteria, and antibiotic active agents rapidly grow the cells. So as you know, mycobacteria is the causative agent for tuberculosis, and they grow very slowly as compared to the other bacteria. They have a lipid rich mycobacterial cell wall is impermeable to the many agents, so it grows inside the macrophage, and they are poorly penetrated by the drug, and they have excellent ability to develop the resistance. So sometimes it causes multiple drug resistance. Now, combination of two or more drug is used to cure tuberculosis. So, because to outcome these obstacles and to prevent emergence of resistance drug during the course of therapy. So, the response of mycobacterial infections to chemotherapy is slow. Treatment must be administered for months to year depending on which drug are used. Now, when we talk about the classification of anti-tuberculosis drug, so according to the clinical utility, the anti-TB drugs can be divided into two groups. So the first line drug and the second line drug. So first line drug included, they have high anti-tubercular efficacy as well as low toxicity, routinely used. They like we have to use them routinely. They include isoniazid, rifampicin, parazinamide, ethambutol, streptomycins, and also the short form is HRZDs. So the second line drug include low tubercular efficacy or high toxicity. For example, we have para-aminosalicylic acid and cycloserine, kanamycin, amikacin, cephalosporin, ofloxacin, and clarithromycin and azithromycin. So these are the second line drugs. Now, while talking to the first line drug, so first we will start with isoniazid. So it is a isonicotinic acid hydrazide. So most active drug for the treatment of tuberculosis. It is freely soluble in water. It is a bactericidal action for actively growing tuberculi bacilli, and it has less effective agent against atypical mycobacterial species, and it penetrates into the macrophages, and it is active against both extracellular and intracellular organisms. As you can see, this is the structure of isoniazid. Now, mechanism of action and basis of resistance of isoniazid. So, it inhibits the synthesis of myclic acid, essential component for mycobacterial cell wall. So, it is highly selective for mycobacterium. And if we talk about the resistance of isoniazid, so it's a pro-drug activated by enzyme catalase peroxidase. So mutation cause inhibition of this enzyme, and no cross resistance occur with other tuberculous drug, so also given in the combination. Now, when we talk about the pharmacokinetic of isoniazid, so rarely absorbed from the gastrointestinal tract, diffuse rarely into all body fluid and tissue, and acetylation by the liver and acetyl transferase is gently determined. Now, half-life is 1 hour and 3 hour slow acetylosis. Now, excreted mainly in the urine, need not to adjust it in the renal failure. Now, contraindicated in severe pre-existing hepatic insufficiency. Now we talk about the clinical use of isoniazid. So typical dose of isoniazid is 5 mg per kg per day and 10 mg per kg per day in severe infections, or 15 mg per kg dose twice weekly. Then adult dose is 300 mg oral dose OD, peroxide paradoxide 35 to 50 mg per day, and pre-depositing to the neuropathy as adverse effect of isoniazid. So can also be given parenterally in the some dosing, and in latent tuberculosis the dosing is 300 mg per day, 5 mg per kg per day, or 900 mg twice weekly for 9 months. Now, when we talk about the adverse reactions of isoniazid, so it's depend on the dose and the duration of administration. So when we talk about the immunologic reactions, so it can cause fever and skin rashes. They are occasionally seen in isoniazid. Then drug-induced sympathetic lumps, erythromatosis, has been reported in this drug. Then direct toxicity, it can cause clinical hepatitis with loss of appetite, nausea, vomiting, jaundice, and promptly discontinued. Then the risk of hepatitis is greater in individual and alcohol dependency, possibly during pregnancy and other postpartum period. Then the another adverse reactions with diet is direct reaction is peripheral neuropathy is observed in 10 to 20% patient, occur in the slow acetylator and the patient with the predispositing condition. So it can cause malnutrition, alcoholism, diabetes, AIDS, and uremia. Then, relatively pyridoxine deficiency promote excretion of pyridoxines and rapidly revised by the administration of pyridoxine in a dose as low as 10 mg per day. Then certain nervous system toxicity it can also cause, like less common include memory loss, psychosis, and seizures. Now, next drug we have rifampicin. So, rifampicin is a semi-synthetic derivative of rifampicin and produced by Streptomyces mediatrinae. So, it is active in vitro agent gram-positive and gram-negative cocci. So, some enteric bacteria, mycobacteria, and chlamydia. So when we talk about rifampicin resistance mutants, approximately 1 in 10 to the power 6 organisms and repeatedly selected out if rifampicin is used as a single drug, must be used in combination, and no cross resistance to other drug, other class of antimicrobial drug. When we talk about the rifampicin mechanism of action and resistance, so it binds to the bacterial DNA and depends RNA. It like binds with the bacterial DNA dependent RNA polymerase and inhibit the RNA synthesis. Then it has a bactericidal or for mycobacteria. Then it is rapidly penetrate most tissue and pancreatus into the phagocytic cells. Now, it can kill organisms that are poorly accessible to many other drugs. It is an intracellular organism It has squatted in abscesses and lung cavities. Then, when we talk about its resistance, so it is mutations result in the reducted binding of the rifampicins to the RNA polymerase. Now, when we talk about the pharmacokinetics of rifampicin, so it is well absorbed after oral administration and excreted mainly through the liver into bile. Now, enterohepatic recalculations bulk excreted as a deacetylated metabolite in feces and a small amount excreted in the urine. Now, dose adjustment for renal or hepatic insufficiency is not necessary. It is distributed widely in body fluid and tissue and relatively high protein bound. Now, when we talk about the clinical use, so 10 mg per kg per day OD for 6 months in combination is like with isoniazid or other antituberculous drug to patient is prescribed. So some are typical mycobacterial infection and in leprosy. 600 mg twice daily for 2 days can eliminate the meningococcal carriage. Then 20 mg per kg per day for 4 days prophylaxis in context of children with the Haemophilus influenza type B disease. Then serious streptococcal infections, osteomyelitis, and prosthetic valve endocarditis has been seen. Then, when we talk about the adverse reactions of rifampicin, is like it can cause harmless orange color to the urine and sweats and tears. Then occasionally adverse effect include rashes, thrombocytopenia, nephritis, and cholestasis, jaundice, and occasionally hepatitis, light chain proteinuria, then flu-like syndrome characterized by fever, chill, malaise, anemia, and thrombocytopenia. Now, another adverse effect include most cytochrome P450 isoform, elimination of numerous other drugs, so methadone, anticoagulants, and cyclopron, some anticonvulsants and protease inhibitors, and some contraceptives and host of others. So these are some adverse reaction and drug interactions. Now, next drug is ethambutol. So, ethambutol is the synthetic water-soluble heat-stable compound disbanded as the hydrochloric acid. It is a bacteriostatic action. Additionally, it shows the rate of sputum conversion and development of the resistance is there, given in the combination with RHA. Then mechanism of action of ethambutol is it inhibits the mycobacterial arabinosyl transferase and as essential component of the mycobacterial cell wall, and it can cause resistance due to alteration in target gene. So no cross resistance with other drug. Then resistance to the ethambutol emerges rapidly with the drug is used alone or combination with other antitubercular drug. Now, when we talk about the pharmacokinetics, so it is well absorbed from the gut. 20% of the drug is excreted in feces and 50% in urine in unchanged form. Now it cross the blood-brain barrier only when the meninges are inflamed. Now it is temporarily stored in RBCs and T half is 4 hours and quotation taken for the renal failure patient. Now, clinical use of ethambutol is ethambutol hydrochloride 15 to 20 mg per kg per day OD. Higher dose is recommended for treatment of tuberculosis meningitis and 50 mg per kg when a twice weekly dose scheduled. Now, when we talk about the adverse effect of rifampicin, so it include adverse effect of it, adverse effect of ethambutol. So we find out retro blooper. It can cause retro blooper neurotitis, which is 25 mg per kg per day continued for several months, and loss of visual accuracy and red green color blindness 15 mg per kg per day or less. Visual disturbance are very rare and has been seen. Then it is contraindicated in children that are too young to permit assessment of visual accuracy and red green color discriminations. Now, the next drug is our parazinamide. So, parazinamide is a relative of nicotinamide and stable and slightly soluble in water but weak drug. It is inactive at natural pH but neutral pH, but at pH 5.5 it inhibits tubercle bacilli, and it is taken up by macrophages and extract its activity. It is highly effective during the first 2 months of therapy. So this is the structure of parazinamide, and that we in short we called it PZA. Now, if we talk about the mechanism of action of PZA, is parazinamide is converted to parazinoic acid in active form by the mycobacterial parazinamidase, and it disrupts the mycobacterial cell membrane and metabolism and also the transport function, and resistance is impaired uptaking of parazinamide, mutation of enzyme causing conversion of parazinamide to its active form. Now, when we talk about this pharmacokinetics, so it is well absorbed from the gastrointestinal tract and widely distributed in the body tissue, including inflamed meninges, and it has a half-life is 8 to 11 hours. Metabolized by the liver, metabolites are like renally, and no cross resistance has been seen. Now, when we talk about its clinical use, so it is used as a frontline drug for tuberculosis with rifampicin and isoniazid, and normal dose included 40 to 50 mg per kg thrice weekly or twice weekly treatment regimens for 6 months. Then, if we talk about its hemodialysis patient and creatinine clearance, so it has less than 30 ml per minute, 25 to 35 mg per kg, 3 times weekly, not daily. Now, if we talk about its adverse effect, so hepatotoxicity has been seen in 1 to 5% of patients, less common in Indian population. Nausea, vomiting, drug fever, and hyperuricemia has also seen. So, it occurs uniformly. Drug therapy should be not stopped and contraindicated in liver disease patient. Now, the next drug is streptomycin. So, streptomycin is a part of aminoglycoside antibiotic. It is first clinically useful anti-tubercular drug, but less effective than INH or rifampicin. It acts only on extracellular bacilli and poor penetration into cell. Then it doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier but penetrates the tubercular cavities. Now, when we talk about its mechanism of action, so it is irreversible inhibitor of protein synthesis, and it is a bactericidal action. It has a bactericidal action. Inside the cell, aminoglycoside bind to a specific 3S subunit ribosomal protein and inhibit protein synthesis. When we talk about its resistance, so inactivation by adenylations and acetylations or phosphorylations, and it impaired the entry into the cell. Receptor protein on the 30S ribosomal subunit detected, deleted, or altered as a result of a mutation. Now, pharmacokinetics of streptomycin. So, it is absorbed very poorly from the intact gastrointestinal tract. It is a intramuscular injection. It has taken by intramuscular injection or usually administered intravenously as a 30 to 60 minute infusion. Now, normal half life is 2 to 3 hours, but in renal failure patient, it reduces to 24 to 48 hours. Now, its clinical use include treatment of infection resistance to other drug. Adult, it is used in 20 to 40 mg per kg per day, daily for several weeks, then followed by 1 to 1.5 gram 2 or 3 times weekly for several months. Now, other drugs are always given in the combination to prevent emergence of resistance. And non-tubercular species of mycobacteria other than Mycobacterium alveolum complex MAC and Mycobacterium canicilli are resistant with this. So dose is reduced to half in hemodialysis patient. So this is all about your first line drug therapy for tuberculosis. So now when we talk about its adverse effect, streptomycin adverse effect, so it includes ototoxicity and nephrotoxicity. And then vertigo and hearing loss are also there. Common adverse effect are maybe permanent. Now, dose related and the risk is increased in the elderly patient, and therapy should be limited not more than 6 months whenever possible. Now, coming to the second line drug for tuberculosis. So, it includes second line drug. These drugs are considered only when resistance to the first line agent and failure to the clinical response to the conventional therapy. Serious treatment limiting adverse drug reactions. Expert guidelines to deal with the toxic effect is required. And for example, para-amino salicylate acid and cycloserine, kanamycin, amikacin, cephaloxacin, ofloxacin, clarithromycin, and azithromycin are the drugs that are included in your second line drug therapy for tuberculosis. Now, starting from the para-amino salicylic acid, so it is a structural analog of para-amino benzoic acid, PABA, highly specific for M. tuberculosis, not effective against other mycobacteria species, and it is combined with the isoniazid, an alternative substrate, and block the hepatic acetylation of isoniazid. It increase free isoniazid label. So limited to the treatment of MDR tuberculosis, multi-drug resistance tuberculosis. Discouraged its use in primary resistance, poor compliance due to GI intolerance and lupus-like reactions. Now, the another drug is ethanamide. So, ethanamide is chemically related to isoniazid. It blocks the synthesis of myoclonic acid. It is poorly water soluble and available only in the oral form. and dosing of 15 mg per kg per day, initial dose of 250 mg once daily, which is increased in 250 mg increment to the recommended dose. So, intense gastric irritation and neurological symptoms as well as hepatotoxic symptoms has been seen. Now, the next drug is capreomycin. So, it is a peptide protein synthesis inhibitor, antibiotic obtained from Streptomyces capreolus. So, daily injection of 15 mg per kg per day intramuscularly has been taken. Treatment of multi-drug resistance tuberculosis. Strains of M. tuberculosis that are resistant to the streptomycin are amikacin susceptible to the capreomycin, and nephrotoxic and ototoxic tinnitus, deafness, and vestibular disturbance occur with this drug. Local pain and slice abscess may be occur by the use of capreomycin. Now, cycloserine. Cycloserine is an inhibitor of cell wall synthesis. It is used in 0.5 to 1 gram per day in 2 divided oral dose. It has cleared renally dose in the reduced to half in the case of renal dysfunction. Peripheral neuropathy and central nervous system dysfunction, including depression and psychotic reaction, has been seen with the use of this drug. Now, pyridoxine is 150 mg per day given in the addition to it. The next drug is kanamycin and amikacin. So, kanamycin and amikacin is a treatment of tuberculosis suspected or known to be caused by streptomycin resistance or multi-drug resistant strains. Kanamycin is more toxic comparatively with the absolute prevalence of amikacin resistant strains is low, like less than 5%, also active against the atypical mycobacteria, and 15 mg per kg intravenously infusion taken. No cross resistance between streptomycin and amikacin, but it occurs with the kanamycin. Used in the combination with at least one and preferably 2 or 3 other drugs. Now, the next drug is fluoroquinolones. So, it is in addition to their activity against many gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria, inhibit the strain of M. tuberculosis, so also active against atypical mycobacteria. Standard dose of fluoroquinolones include ciprofloxacin in 750 mg orally twice a day, levofloxacin 500 to 750 mg once a day, moxifloxacin 400 mg once a day. Then, revised National Tuberculosis Control Program RNT-CP 1997 guidelines in India is according to that tuberculosis has categorized into 3 categories. So, TB category first, second, and third. So, type of tuberculosis. So, and initial phase, continuation phase, and total duration. So, this is the category wise the duration of treatment. So when we talk about the category first, so they are new untreated tuberculosis. So initial phase we have to take 2 HRJD therapy, then continuous phase HR, then total duration we have to take it for 6 months. Then in second category is the type of tuberculosis, it is similar positive failure. Then relapse and interrupted treatment cases. So we have to prescribe the 2H, R3, ES, 1H and RZD. Then we in continuous phase we have to use 5-HRE, and total duration is 8 months. Then in third category, less severe from the extra pulmonary tuberculosis and the smear is negative. So we have to use 2H3RZ. So 4HR in continuous phase, then total duration is 6 months. Now, number before a phase is duration in month, subscript number does per week, and followed by dots directly observe treatment. Now, when we talk about a summary of tuberculosis, so we have find out that regimen in approximate order of preference, so that is isoniazid, rifampicin, parazinamide. Duration in month is 6 months. Isoniazid and rifampicin taken for 9th month, 9 month. Rifampicin, ethambutol and parazinamide is taken for 6 months. Rifampicin, ethambutol is taken for 12 months. Isoniazid, ethambutol is taken for 18 months. Then all others are taken for more than 24 months. Now, drug or type typical adult dosing. So first line agent in approximate order of preference. So we can see isoniazid is in 300 mg per day, rifampicin 600 mg per day, parazinamide 25 mg per kg per day, ethambutol 15 to 25 mg per kg per day, streptomycin is taken 15 to 15 mg per kg per day. Then second line agent amikacin is used in the dosing 15 mg per kg per day. Aminosalicylic acid is used in 8 to 12 gram per day. Capreomycin is used in 15 mg per kg per day. Cephalosporin is used in 1500 mg per day in divided dose. Then cycloserine is used in 15 to 1000 mg per day in divided dose. Then ethanamide is used in 500 to 750 mg per day. Levofloxacin is used in 500 mg per day. Then rifabutin is used in 300 mg per day, and rifampicin is used in 600 mg once or twice weekly. So this is all about the dosing and the duration of months of the first line drug and second line drug therapy. Now coming to the summary, when we have concluded all the subclass, mechanism of action, effect, clinical application, pharmacokinetic toxicity and interaction of anti-tuberculosis drug. So this is the chart we have prepared collectively. So as you can see, the subclass included, that starts with isoniazid. So the mechanism of action of isoniazid include it inhibits the synthesis of mycelic acid as an essential component of mycobacteria cell wall, and its effect is bactericidal activity against susceptible strain of M. tuberculosis. When we talk about its clinical application, so it is a first line agent for tuberculosis, treatment of latent infections, less active agent against other mycobacteria. Now, pharmacokinetic toxicities and interaction of isoniazid include oral IB hepatic clearance in half-life is 1 hour. It reduces levels of phenytoin. Toxicity includes hepatotoxicity, peripheral toxicity, nephropathy, given pyridoxines to prevent from these kind of toxicity. Now, the next drug is rifampicin. Okay, so rifampicin is used the mechanism of action of rifampin is it inhibit DNA dependent RNA polymerase, thereby blocking the production of RNA. Now, effect of rifampin include it is a bactericidal activity against susceptible bacteria and mycobacteria. It has a resistance rapidly emergence with the when used as a single drug in the treatment of active infections. Now, clinical applications of rifampin include first-line agent for tuberculosis, atypical mycobacterial infections, eradications of meningococcal colonizations, streptococcal infections. When we talk about this pharmacokinetics, toxicity and interaction, so it is taken in oral IV route, hepatic clearance, half-life is 3 to 5 hours, potent cytochrome P450 indicators, turns body fluid orange color. Toxicities include rash, nephritis, thrombocytopenia, pleuritis, flu-like syndrome, which in intermediate dosing. So, rifabutin in oral similar to rifampin but less cytochrome P450 inductions and fewer drug interactions. Rifampicin oral long-acting along of rifampin that may be given once weekly in the continuation phase of tuberculosis treatment. Now, the another drug we have is parazinamide. So, when we talk about its mechanism of action, so it is not fully understood. Parazinamide is converted to the active parazinoic acid under acidic condition in the microphage lysosomes. It has activity of bacteriostatic activity against susceptible stains and of tuberculosis and may be bactericidal against activity dividing organism. Now, when we talk about its clinical application, so it has a sterilizing agent used during first 2 months of therapy, allow total duration of therapy to be shortened of 6 months. And when we talk about pharmaco half cleared, so use usual dose is 3 into weekly if creatinine clearance is less than 30 ml per minute, so toxicity can cause hepatotoxic and hyperuricemia. Now the next drug is ethambutol. So ethambutol inhibits mycobacterial arabinosyl transferase, which are involved in the polymerization reactions of arabinoglycan and an essential component of the mycobacterial cell wall. Now, when we talk about its effect, so it is a bacteriostatic activity against susceptible mycobacteria. It is given in 4 drug initial combination therapy for tuberculosis until the drug sensitivities are known, also used for atypical mycobacteria infections. When we talk about dosing, so oral mixed clearance half-life is 4 hours. Dose must be reduced in the renal failure. It can cause toxicity like retroblubar neuritis. Then the next drug is streptomycin. So streptomycin is, when we talk about its mechanism of action, so it prevents bacterial protein synthesis by binding to the S12 ribosomal subunit. Then when we talk about its effect, so it is a bactericidal activity against susceptible mycobacteria. It is used in the tuberculosis when an injectable drug is needed or desirable and in the treatment of drug resistance stains. Then it is used in IM, IV and a renal clearance of this drug is like half life is it 2.5 hours, administratively daily initially, then 2 into week, like 2 into week per week, and toxicity included nephrotoxic and ototoxicity. So these are the first line drug of for tuberculosis. So these are first line anti-tubercular drug, their mechanism of action, their effect, and their clinical applications, and their pharmacokinetic toxicities and interactions. Now, as you can see, this is the combination therapy. So it is used to reduce the risk of bacterial resistance and reduction of dose and of the risk of adverse drug reactions. So as you can see, isoniazid, it can cause CNS damage and peripheral nephropathy, liver damage. Then ethambutol can also cause optic nerve damage. Then rifampicin can cause liver damage and enzyme inhibitions. Despons can cause side effects like hemolysis. Then liver damage, it can caused by parazinamide. Streptomycin can cause uh, vestibular and ototoxicity. Clofazimine cause skin discoloration. So these are some combination therapies, their adverse effects, so and with their structure. So you can see it and check out this. This is all about your anti-tubercular drug, first line therapy and second line therapy. First, we have to go for first line therapy when it is not like working and it can causing the resistance to the bacteria. Then only we have to move out for second line therapy. Now I have concluded some questions for you regarding this lecture, and you can easily answer these while you going through the whole lectures. What question should I ask about tuberculosis to any lecturer, any your teacher, your doctor? So, which one of these is a first line drug to treat tuberculosis? What is the second line drug used against tuberculosis? What is the most common adverse effect of first line drug therapy for tuberculosis? What is tuberculosis content? What is the incubation period of tuberculosis? What is DOT, directly observed treatment? Why use DOTs? Who can provide DOTs? And what is tuberculosis disease? So as you can see, these are very basic questions regarding tuberculosis and anti-tubercular drug. So you can easily answer these questions. We have already covered all the questions in our lecture. Then, the reference for today's lecture included Basic and Clinical Pharmacology by Bartram G. Cadogan's, Essential of Medical Pharmacology by K.G. Tripathi, 6th edition, Lipinocort, Modern Pharmacology with Clinical Applications, Color Atlas of Pharmacology, 2nd editions. So you can easily check out these books for further knowledge of tuberculosis. So as you know, tuberculosis is very it is communicable disease, and as well as it is very like severe disease also. It can cause very lethal effect to the patient, and in if we do not give the proper treatment in time to the patient, so the patient can be lost their life also, and it is fully curable also. So while going through the treatment process, first we have to diagnose it very properly, then we have to check the resistance of the drug in the patient. Only then we can give proper treatment to the patient, and we have to follow all the dots process, and it is very easy. So this is all about the tuberculosis and the drug that are used in tuberculosis. Thank you for today's lecture. Thank you for kindly listening to me.